Today we are looking at the Soul Emotion Max, $119 pair of headphones. Let's check them out. Welcome back, Digital Slang. Today, the Soul Emotion Max, $120 pair of headphones. And we all know in that price range, there's some pretty good headphones at that price point. So how do these compare? We're going to find out right now. Guys, if you're new to the channel, hit that like and a sub would be appreciated. You did see the quick unboxing. Let's take a look and see what we get for our money. Then we'll go over the specs, and then I'll tell you what I think about these headphones. Let's take a look inside of the box. Now, the box itself, I do like. You guys know if you follow the channel, again, I do like a good unboxing experience, right? It shows care. It shows that they do care about first impressions, and that does go a long way most of the time. Not all the time, but most of the time, it does go into the product. And I do like the packaging here. So, picture of the beige colorway on here. Now, this does come in the beige, also a black color and a blue color, all with a matte finish. And you guys know how much I love a matte finish. On the side here, it's going to show you and tell you all about the specs. ANC, multi-point connection, transparency mode. This does have aptX, SBC, and AAC for the codecs. The Qualcomm CVC noise cancellation technology, dual mics on here, and that will also help with the ANC. Up to 38 hours of battery life. Now, that is with ANC turned off, of course. 40mm drivers on here, guys, so you're going to get that bass. Foldable design. We'll look at the design in a second. And again, AAC, USB to charge. There is a fast charge feature on here. We'll go over that in a second. And what I do like about this, you can see that little, I'll try and get the angle. It's hard to see. You guys can see that. Very difficult to see. Welcome to the ultimate audio experience. I do like how they did that. Very clean, very nice with their branding on the bottom. And then when you open this up, you know, they're going green, sustainably packaged. So very nice here. They do put a lot of work into their packaging. So I can respect that and I appreciate that. So overall, very good. Now inside of that box, the paperwork here, you know, typical paperwork. One of these will be very important. It's going to tell you how to use and set up multi-point. It's going to go over all the touch controls, tell you how to use ambient mode and ANC. It's not really that straightforward, so I would suggest using this to take a look. We also get 3.5mm jack, USB-A to USB-C. We do get a sticker. We do get a bag here with their branding on it. It's kind of like a microfiber bag on here. Very nice, very clean with the drawstring, with their branding here on the top of the rope. Very nice. They put a lot of detail into every little thing on here, so I like that. And we also get, check this out, we get some extra breathable ear cups for our headphones, right? This is very reminiscent of the AirPods Max headphones and how they are. So we do have the protein leather that come already on it. And if you want to change that out, these just actually snap right off. It's not magnets like on the AirPods. Those are also about $400 or $500 more than these. These have 4 little slots on here that just fit into these holes, and you just snap them on. Now, I do get a better seal with the memory foam. I did, of course, try both, and I do prefer the memory foam. I do think they are very comfortable, but we will go over that in a second. But I think this is really awesome that we do get an extra set. And if it's hot and you're sweaty, you might want to use these. So overall, I dig it. Now, if we take a look at the actual headphones here, you can see the matte finish. And again, matte beige, matte black, and matte blue. Big fan of that colorway. Aluminum and polycarbonate build on here with the memory foam up top. And of course, the protein leather for the ear cushions. We do have all of the controls here. We'll go over the controls in a little bit. A dedicated ANC button on here. And I will show you guys how to use all of the touch controls on here. USB-C, that's where you're going to charge it up. The 3.5mm jack. Now, there is a quick charge on here. We're going to go over the specs in 1 second. Of course, very smooth when it slides. very nice. I do like it. Now, my two gripes with the actual headphones here, and one of them is the actual width of the inside of the ear cups. I just wish they were a little wider. I can feel the inside of the ear cup touching my ear. You know, I wish it would just cover and completely seal my ear. And saying that, though, surprisingly, I do get a really good seal with these headphones. And my other gripe, there's no swivel, right? They're flexible, very flexible, guys. And I think the build quality on here is pretty good. I just wish they would swivel inside, right? They do fold up for portability, but there's no swivel. I want them to lay flat on a table, and I want to be able to rotate the ear cups, especially at this price point, right? So, two gripes with the actual headphones themselves. Now, let's get into the rest of the video. Specs on these headphones. aptX SBC AAC Bluetooth 5.0, price $119.99. The Solo Motion Max, again, 3 colorways. Now, battery life on here, 38 hours with ANC off and about 24 hours with ANC on. There is a 10-minute charge, a fast charge. 10-minute charge will get you about 1.5 hours of battery life on here. These do have multi-point connection, and we'll talk about the multi-point connection a little bit later in the video. CVC 8.0 noise cancellation technology. We will do a mic test and see how good the mics are on here. IPX4 sweat resistant, so feel free to work out on them, sweat in them. You do have the extra set of ear cups if you want to work out with them. A little more breathable on the other ear cups, so not waterproof though, so don't get them too wet, but you can work out, no problem. So let's get into the video. We are just going to start with a mic test. All right, guys, the mic test, the Solo Motion Max CVC 8.0 noise cancellation technology. This is what it would sound like if you were on a phone call in a quiet room. Drop some comments and let me know. All right, guys, now we're in a noisy room, a crowded environment, maybe a coffee shop, or you're out and about with a bunch of noise around you, trying to make a phone call. This is what it will sound like on your headphones. Drop some comments and let me know what you think. All right, guys, let's talk about the multi-point connection. First, you're going to pair your phone or whatever device you are trying to use with your headphones. Once that is paired up, you're going to power down that device. Then you're going to go and use your second device. You're going to connect it to that. You're going to want to pair up to the second device and then just turn back on that first device, and you will be connected to both devices at the same time. Now, when switching back and forth, you do have to hit pause. Say I was watching YouTube on my phone and then I wanted to watch a YouTube video on my computer instead. I do have to pause it on my phone and then just hit play on the computer. And it does take a second or two to actually switch over. It's not instant, but it does work pretty good, and it will switch over after a second or two, and it will just start playing what you're watching on your computer. So very cool, multi-point on a $120 pair of headphones. Now, let's talk about the ANC and the transparency mode or ambient mode, whatever you want to call it. Now, on the actual headphones, you do have a dedicated ANC button here, and it's just a little switch. Up, ANC is on. Down, ANC is off. Now, there is no voice prompt or anything like that, so you do have to just be aware when you are using ANC. You want to be careful, because if you don't want to use ANC and you want to conserve battery life, you got to make sure that it is off. But you're going to be able to tell the ANC on here is good. It won't compete with any of the big boys, right? But at this price point, it's good. We're getting what we pay for here when it comes to ANC. It drowns out a bunch of the low-end noises. Not going to take any of the high-end noises out, but it does a pretty good job with most of the low-end noises. Now, the ambient mode on here is this button. It's basically your power button. And what you're going to do to switch into ambient mode, again, it doesn't voice prompt you, so you just have to be aware, kind of. And with ambient mode, it's a little more difficult, but you can hear the difference. So you're just going to hold this button down for about 2 seconds, and it will switch to ambient mode. And if you want to turn that off, it will switch out of ambient mode. And now, if you are listening to music and you turn ambient mode on, it is going to lower the music pretty much to about 10 to 15%, and it's going to bring in that outside noise. And then once you turn ambient mode off, the music will go back to whatever volume you had when you were listening to it. So pretty cool. I do like that feature on here. But ANC and ambient mode on here, it's pretty good. The ambient mode is probably a little bit better than entry level, not too bad. It is very natural, and I think that's more of it being a little bit weaker than some of the stronger ambient modes out there. But for the price, I think it does a good job. It's not digitally sounding. It's pretty natural. I would just like a little more of the outside noise in. But the ANC, I think, is really good for the price. I think it does a pretty good job on these headphones. Now, touch controls on these earbuds. Let's go over that real quick. So your power button, that is also your play and pause. So music is playing right now. If we push on the power button once, it's going to pause it. And if we push it again, it will play. Also, if you hold it down for 2 seconds, it's going to go in and out of ambient mode. And we talked about ambient mode already. Your dedicated ANC button, if you just turn it up, flip the switch up, ANC will come on. Turn it down, ANC off. And these buttons here, music is playing. If you just tap up on here, the volume will go up. And if you tap down, volume will go down. And if we just touch and hold, it's going to go to the next track. And of course, the other way will go back to the previous track. And you can activate your voice assistant from the power button as well. So overall, full touch controls on here. You guys know I am a fan of that. Next, let's talk about the sound quality and the volume on the Emotion Max. The volume on here is good. I think it's loud enough for just about anybody. Every now and then I would like just a little bit more, but again, I always want that extra bit of volume, and most of the time that is too much for most people. So I think for just about everybody, these are just right when it comes to volume. You can dial it back a little bit, find that sweet spot, and you're good to go. Now, the sound quality on here, again, 40 millimeter drivers on here, guys, so you're going to get that bass. There is a good bit of thump on these. You can feel it. If you get a bass-heavy song, you are going to feel it. The mids are there. They don't stand out. It's more of a bass-heavy, and the highs sound good with these headphones. The highs, if you get a really good song with good vocals, they do sound really good, and it's very clear. I do like the sound of these. These are bangers, though. The bass on here, you're going to feel it. If you get a bass-heavy song, it doesn't take away, it doesn't muddy up anything. It's not as clear as some of the other higher-end headphones, and you wouldn't expect it to be at this price point. But I think overall it's a very nice sound, and these are going to be a fun pair of headphones, I think, for a lot of people with the soundstage on here. I think these sound really good, especially at the $120 price point. Now, watching content on these headphones is going to be a good experience. No latency at all when you're watching YouTube videos, Netflix, something like that. Like gaming, you are going to be fine. Any of the heavier games, you will notice a slight delay. So just keep that in mind. Latency on here, I wouldn't recommend anything like this for heavier games, but light games, you're going to be fine. No issues at all. All right, guys, the Soli Motion Max for $120. Are they worth it? I think they are. I think they do a really good job, and they fit really nicely into this price range in the audio space. I think these do a really good job at giving us a lot for our money. What do we get here? We're getting multi-point, ANC, ambient mode. None of these are the best, but we're paying $120. They can't be the best, but they are really good. The sound quality on here, the volume, really good battery life on these headphones. 38 hours of juice on here. Quick charge. We're getting a lot. We're getting extra ear cups, guys. We are getting a ton for our money here. So I think Sol did a really good job. Look, there's some companies from 50 to say 150 that are doing big things in the audio space. And I think Sol is an up and coming company. You know, I've tested a bunch of their earbuds over the last 5-6 months, and I think they all did a really good job falling into whatever space it was at that price point when it comes to earbuds. This is the first pair of headphones I've tested from them, and I like them. I think they're an up-and-coming company, guys. I'm going to drop the links for the earbuds below. The Emotion Max, $120 pair of headphones that are definitely worth it. So check them out. And the matte finish on here, you guys know I like that, guys. If you're new to the channel, hit that like. Oh, and shout out to Sol for sending me these over to check out. But not a paid review, guys. You guys will see this before they do. That's it. I'll be back soon, guys. Peace.